Alright, game 2 of this series between The Last of Us and Tree. Game 1 obviously went Tree's way pretty, not easily I think, but they showed good stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Game 2 here, Playmaker is not MK Dev, so apparently in the midst of this series they managed to change up exactly who their 5th player is on The Last of Us, which is a little odd, but I guess that's fine. We'll just go with it. And anyway, banning phase is done. We're well into the picking phase, so I should stop talking about that and start talking about this game. Flux and Magmus getting taken out here by the Legion side. Obviously, Magmus in game 1 did very well. I don't actually remember now. Boy, apparently I'm clinically retarded. Regardless, 2 heroes that are very powerful and 2 heroes, which, first ban of Flux, not really sure I'd go with that. I think he's a powerful and underrated hero, but I'm not sure if he's that powerful and underrated. Although, you know, Tree do like their engineer, and they do pick it up there, so maybe that's what they were going for, just making sure they couldn't get that combo. Then again, I do sort of feel like that combo's a little bit overrated. It's great, but it's not that great. Anyway. Warbeast and Rhapsody will be the pickups, or the bans for the Hellborn side, as they want to get rid of the popular Suicide, as well as the very strong first pick support, so not going to be available, but in the meantime, they let Kronos go through. So we're going to see Kronos here, first picked by Last of Us, and almost certainly going to be in the hands of Fuzzy Sloth there, as he played Suicide last game, so I would not be shocked to see him pick that up yet again, unless, of course, Playmaker is their Suicide player for some reason. Last of Us, I don't know, they've got like 80 players and they all play different roles, so everybody has to switch up stuff. Regardless, Torture and Pebbles will be the follow-ups, so the popular zoning support in Tort and the very bursty Pebbles, and Last of Us looking like a pretty solid lineup so far. They've got some push, they've got some team fight, they've got some burst initiation, and they've got some good care potential, especially with that Chronos. So like to see what they pick up in their last 2 selections, but no matter what, they're going to have a pretty balanced team, I think, at this point. Hellborn have chosen Puppet Master, Rebels, and Engineer, so they let both Kronos and Puppet Master go through. They lost the Kronos, they pick up the PM. I think that goes in Last of Us' favor. I think they make the right decision choosing the Kronos over the PM. Puppet Master is very strong, but I think there's ways to deal with him, particularly CiC. He does not like stuns, he does not like sheeps or hexes or any sort of lockdown of that sort. Okay, Prophet. Never mind. Bubbles and Engineer are the other 2 picks, so got some good team fight here, got some great burst damage and some great gank as well. So both sides looking pretty solid. Not quite as much push for the Hellborn side, but perhaps a little bit more team fight with the Bubbles Kilt field and the Engineer energy field. Second stage of bans is through. Pharaoh, Riftwalker, and Raven are getting taken out here by Diglett, as once again they're like, alright, Root of Z, you cannot play that Riftwalker. Maybe you can play Engineer, but no Riftwalker for you. You obviously did play that Engineer last game. And Andromeda. Generally, not bad bans overall. Swiftblade, Ophelia, and Wretched Hag getting taken out by Fusen. Obviously, dealing with that Swiftblade, considering they are a carry here for Balthazar, really could be a very powerful option for this Legion side, and now they do not have access to it. Wretched Hagman, I think, also makes a lot of sense, considering her versatility and her potential to line up Bat Blasts inside Chrono Fields. And obviously can't do that there either. Ophelia, not sure if that hero fits so much here. I guess it wouldn't be that bad, but anyway. The Prophet. Obviously, a hyped hero for a long time. People saying this is a really popular hero. This is going to be a hero that does very, very well in the competitive scene. And yet, haven't seen him too much. Haven't seen him have too much success. I don't like the pick. I don't think he's a very good hero. He could be extremely disruptive. Part of the issue I'm going to have with this is Prophet Ultimate on top of Kronos Ultimate isn't really going to do that much. The stun's not going to be very helpful. I guess the amplified damage could be, but I'm not sure exactly how much synergy there is there. It seems like there might be, because Chronophil will trap people so that they can't move out of the Prophet Ultimate. But I think the main value about that is the stun, and since they're already stunned, that's so helpful. Anyway, we'll see how that Prophet does, but just don't like him. Anyway, Rally. I like that. God damn it. Diglett here looking to go bat 1,000 on heroes that I don't like when Rally is going to continue that. Wouldn't be surprised to see him actually. I think going to see a Suicide Rally and a short lane. Yeah, we're going to see a short lane Kronos. I massively dislike these decisions from the Legion team. I really, really don't like it. They've got burst magic and burst physical thanks to Rally and Pebbles, that's nice. They've got long range initiation from Chronos, Pebbles, from Rally, that's also good. Their team fight's not bad. Their pushing is okay. The issue I have is partially with the laning phase. Chronos is such a powerful suicide that putting him in the short lane seems kinda silly. He's a good carry, no doubt, but that's not the reason he rose to prominence. He was there forever as a short laner. People were like, oh, Chronos is a hard carry, you play him in the short lane. And then somebody experimented and realized, holy crap, this guy's amazing at suiciding. And now that's what we see him do because his short lane presence just isn't that good. So picking that hero up and using him for what he's not the best at seems kind of silly, especially when the reason you're doing that is to get a Rally in your lineup. Why? Rally is really going to do that much for you? I don't see it. So, I'm not a fan of the Rally in general. I don't like it very much. Now, the Andromeda on the Hellborn side, I don't like that hero very much to support either, but against Chronos, hell yes. Swap people out of the Chrono field, save their lives. Andromeda will be sacrificing herself a lot this game, I anticipate, and that's going to help out the Hellborn side a hell of a lot if Puppet Master or Meraxis now or Bubbles ever get caught. Boom, you're saved. Andromeda might die, but definitely a better decision than letting one of your farmers die. And Engineer on the route. Or Root of Z getting Engineer again. I suspect we'll be seeing the jungle strat. And likely Meraxis middle, very possibly with Andromeda. I think that's what's going to happen. And then Puppet Master in this solo short with Bubbles suicide. Bubbles definitely going to be a suicide. The question is Andro going to try to babysit that PM, or is she going to go middle with Meraxis? I think she fits better in the middle. She's just not that great a babysitter. Her range makes her unable to effectively harass, and as a result, not that great a hero in the short lane. Anyway, Legion side, they do have tri-lane potential, and I hadn't really addressed that earlier at all, but we could see a Pebbles or Rally tri-lane, and aggressive, I actually wouldn't mind that too much, especially on the Pebbles, if they set the Rally middle, and said, look, you know, we're going to, he's a relatively defensive hero, it should be a lot harder to kill him than, say, a Pebbles in solo mid. So we'll just kill the, you know, try to kill the PM up top. Speaking of which, PM is heading top by himself, but the other 4 heroes are heading now through the Legion jungle. And we'll see if they try to ward up some camps. Obviously, once again, item bug. I can't see anybody's items. Not that they don't have any. I just can't see them. And we'll see if a ward gets dropped here. I wouldn't be surprised at all. All sorts of tree chopping going down there. And Legion might think that there's a... I think they do. I think that they think that this pull has been blocked, and it hasn't. So this is going to be a waste of a rev ward, I suspect, with this courier coming out here. And that's some good mind games going on right there. Make the opposing team waste 100 gold on a rev ward that essentially does nothing. And also some time looking for where's the ward. It's there, isn't it? And then the camp spawn is like, ah, crap. Turns out they never warded it at all. Yep. So, Dret's here thinking, oh, haha, they warded, I'll find it. No, I won't. Because nothing is there. It's not there, Torture, it's all in your mind. Anyway, lanes are shaping up here. In the bottom lane, we've got Fuzzy Sloth on that Pebble, so it looks like Playmaker will, in fact, be playing the Suicide Chronos. Definitely the right decision, I think. Before, that was not a good decision, but at the same time, why not just get an actual carry in the bottom lane? Like, and stick the frickin' Pebbles middle. I don't get what the point of Rally in this lineup is. You've got a great zoning support and Torture, great babysitter, and sort of wasted. Like, Pebbles doesn't really need this short lane. I guess he doesn't. I mean, nobody hates it. Having an extra farm, the short lane advantage, not a bad thing, and he'll get a nice early portal key. But this team doesn't necessarily need to get online super quickly. They've got plenty of burst damage, so if he gets a 9-minute portal key instead of a 13-minute portal key, it's not going to create that many more opportunities. And Bubbles actually here could be in some trouble, takes that, and Shell Surf is there, and he actually goes the other way. Chain Reaction not going to hit. So, nice play from Voxel, actually, as he sort of subverted some expectations there. Will knock off the health pot there from Torture. And now trading some auto attacks that he really should not be doing, because one more hit and he's going to... Nice tight cover. And he's just going to run away. Should be fine. So bottom lane here, no doubt, Bubble's going to get boxed out. Boxel going to get boxed out very effectively. And then going to have some issues getting some CS. At the same time, they've used a lot of mana and a lot of regen trying to deal with him. Mid lane at the same time, we've got Meraxis and Engineer going up against Prophet and Rally. I suspect the Legion side won't be taking too many deaths here just because they've not only got a double stun, they've also got the Compel. Halborn also have the stuns. Actually, Engineer and the Root of Z playing the... not playing the jungle. I was like, why is who's that middle? That's not Puppet, right? And no, that's actually Engineer. So interesting that they choose to go for the double dual lane instead of the jungle route. I actually do prefer the jungle Engie, so wouldn't hate seeing that. Word of Rev there does spot out Engineer, so they know he's there. They know he's got an invis rune, and they know he's headed back middle. Bit unfortunate there, as he just happens to run by the Rev. Merax is forced to play a little defensive with his buddy out of lane. Afraid of, obviously, the double stun potential of this Legion side. They don't really have enough damage to kill him, I don't think. It's just more annoying than anything else. And, of course, meanwhile, up top, we've got that Suicide Chronos trying to screw with Fusen here on this Andromeda. Still level 1, actually. And he is level 3. Could be in some trouble there. Takes a Whiplash, a couple auto attacks. Not going to be anything else than that. As Balthazar doesn't really want to initiate too hard on him. And you can understand why. Probably doesn't have enough kill potential here. A little too much health. And obviously with the time late, he can be very, very difficult to kill. So Root of Z has rotated back here to the middle lane. And we'll see if they can do something here. It looks like he wants to initiate, but Meraxis is pretty far away. And obviously landing axes through creeps, impossible, so no luck there, but relatively passive, relatively defensive lane. It's going to be difficult for anybody to find a kill here, I think, just because of how good each of these heroes are at living and getting away. I mean, there's a lot of escape mechanisms, there's a lot of just general tankiness across the board. I was going to rotate here to the bottom rune. We'll pick it up at 4 minutes. And there's going to be illusions there. Obviously no bottle quite yet. I don't know if he has one. Anyway, Meraxis in the middle lane. Drops the stun, but not going to be hitting anything. And a health pot gets dropped here for Kraken on that Meraxis. Interesting. Does my cursor actually disappear? Yeah. When I'm alt-tabbed. So, 5 minutes in or so, relatively even. No bloodlust, obviously, and the golden experience leads slightly in favor of the Legion side, but not substantial by any means. Voxel's out of mana here. Has the Shell Surf off cooldown. You just can't actually hit it. Nice take cover there, actually. Will stop the chain reaction stun. Apple's looking for some initiation. Has enough mana to combo, but won't be able to do so. Oh, there it is, actually, and this could be a bloodlust really easily, so Voxel getting a little too aggressive there, as he will fall in the bottom lane. And a nice bloodlust for Pebbles will get him up to 270 GPM, so Fuzzy's still not really having a great time down here. And that's a little odd. So not only does it get the short lane farm on a hero that doesn't really need it, but he's not even getting short lane farm here. 270 GPM is like decent mid lane farm. You look at Diglett in the mid at 315 against dual lane. Makes very little sense why Fuzzy Sloth, even after the bloodlust. No, sorry, Drent's actually got the bloodlust, but with the assist gold nonetheless. And he still does not manage to get that. Voxel cleaning up some CS there. Of course, Iron Shield and Chronos. Pretty typical build for him. Bottom lane, hasted Meraxis. That's going to be a kill on Pebbles. So coming in with a very advantageous rune. That's going to result in a jump in the middle onto Root of Z. He will drop the turret, and he'll be just fine. His Torturer was rotating over. But not enough to be able to grab the kill. Top lane, Kronos is doing his thing now, and Balthazar needs to be really careful here, because if he gets jumped with the Chrono Field, he could be in some serious trouble. Once Kronos hits 6, could be a problem. Actually, middle lane as Root of Z will also fall, completely missed that kill. But the jump there and the stuns from Prophet, one more auto attack there. Quake actually hits nothing. So, looks like Krake missing slightly. And he will run out. I do have to say, I don't like Meraxes. I like Rally less, I think, maybe, just because of how much we see him. But, just like, I've never really seen Meraxes and felt like, oh god, this guy's a really impactful hero. He's tanky, which is annoying, but his damage output isn't that good, his stun isn't particularly great. I guess he's a decent chaser. It's just, eh. And he does lane well with the axes. Just, eh. I've never really seen Meraxes and thought, this guy's making an impact. This guy is really, really having a great game. Picks up Steam Boots there. I've seen more impactful rallies, and I hate rally. I've seen more impactful rallies than Meraxes's. Mid lane, meanwhile, Boxel has that kill field, looking for a jump onto somebody. But they obviously know he's missing, so playing relatively defensive. This Word of Sight obviously revealing that he's not just hiding behind in the lane. And he is perhaps somewhere else, which is the truth. Top lane, meanwhile, strings go down, and Kronos, there's the Chrono Field, and yep. That's what happens. Now he's going to have to try to get out of here. Takes one with a Comet, and another Keg Stun as well. Turret goes down, that's not going to be very helpful, but he's just so damn tanky. Good body blocks coming in there from Root of Z, and let's see if Playmaker can get out of here. No, he can't, because Meraxes is like, what's up, buddy? Quake Stun goes down there. God, those rewinds! And it takes that long to kill him. It's so hard to kill him. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Boxel actually will drop Torturer nearly dying. And that's the thing with Pebble Stun, if you don't know. It's successive. So if you look at this tooltip, damage is dealt in 4 instances with 0.25 seconds between each distance. If you blah 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 blah, etc. So it stuns you for 2 seconds, but it's 4 consecutive half-second stuns, or something like that. So with a thing like Boxel's Take Cover, on any traditional stun, it would just not do anything, because it's 1 instant of damage. But since he comes out of it in less than 2 seconds, he does actually take something like half of the Pebble stun. And that's pretty critical when laning against Bubbles, especially as a Pebbles, because you're going, look, it may not think anyway up top. Buddha Papa goes down into Kronos, rewinds there once again, 1 second on a time leap, and he should be able to get the hell on out of here. There he goes, and he's just fine. So turns out Puppet Ultimate not quite as strong as Kronos Ultimate in terms of getting hero kills. But anyway, that's a pretty serious advantage that Pebbles has specifically in that matchup against Bubbles. And as a result, Boxel just not having a great time here at 160 gold per minute. Overall, Last of Us taking about 1,000 gold lead, 1,500 experience lead. Invis Torture off to the side. There's a reward there, but it's a Legion reward, so obviously not a big deal. And you're looking for the rune there. See, it's gone. Prophet's here. Meraxes, you're going to be in some trouble, buddy. Let's see if you can actually land that. The Matrax does go out, and he's looking to do something here. Kronos comes in with the time leap. Andro's there as well, and Meraxes is just in a ton of trouble, so that's going to be a pretty easy kill. They did not really want to commit to try to save him, it seemed like. They were really playing kind of far back. They were backed off. They weren't getting right in there and saying, alright, let's make this a full-on engagement. They were basically saying, you know, Krake, you're probably going to die here. Maybe you won't. We'll try to help out a little bit, but we're not going to commit ourselves to preventing you from dying. And I think that's probably the right move to make, actually, in that situation. I doubt he was going to survive. And obviously feeding a couple more supports doesn't really help anybody, except the other team, which is, as far as I understand it, not the goal of this game.
The help Hellborn had destroyed a Legion tower.
Sorry, water. Anyway, top tower goes down. Balthazar getting the kill there. And he's at 360 gold per minute, which is not bad. Actually, second highest farm in the game, just below Rally, who's doing pretty fantastic here in this middle lane. Diglett having quite the game. And Fuzzy Sloth is the third spot in that short lane. So we're going to see relatively quick portal keys from this Legion side, and that's going to be a bit of an issue from the Hellborn. Only Bubbles has reliable escape, and a lot of this team is squishy. Obviously, Andro and Engineer more so than pretty much anybody else, but Puppet Master too. He just does not get tanky, and if he gets initiated on by Rally and or Pebbles, he will die very, very quickly. So Last of Us taking an early lead, and really that experience lead as much as anything is very, very important, considering level 2 ultimate from Rally as well as the full combo there from Fuzzy Sloth, which he now has. That's pretty critical for them. So Tree not really in the greatest position right now, as they do have the late game, I think, pretty clearly. Well, maybe not even with the Chronos. Could be difficult. I think what they have, perhaps more than the Legion side have, is team fight. The Matrax, the Kelp field, and the Energy field, plus they counter the Chrono field with the Raps or the Andro ultimate. I think they can take 5-on-5 engagements better than the Legion side can, and that's often the determiner of games. So it seems like right now the Legion side have a lineup that's very good at countering the Hellborn. They have burst damage, both physical and magical. The Hellborn are generally squishy. They can initiate from long range. The Hellborn don't really have great escape mechanisms. But the issue is going to be, is that going to be enough against a team that can just group and push and take 5-on-5 engagements? And you don't really want to do that, I think. Seismic Slam and Chrono Field will be helpful, so will the Prophet ultimate, but not to the same extent, it looks like, in my opinion, as the Hellborn team's ultis and their general team composition. You also have to consider, once again, all the damage dealers on the Legion side are melee. And that's not true for the Hellborn, so the Chrono Field perhaps not going to be quite as valuable, just because, they'll be more spread out on Hellborn. Nice counter ward here. We'll kill the ward that was just placed, in fact. And triple stacked Ancients here will be killed by the Legion. So, some nice farm for them there. Portal Key picked up in Rally. Not bad timing at all. I'm assuming that was not his first item, because he's currently at 370 GPM, so he probably could have had that at 8 or 9 minutes if he really wanted it. But I'm assuming bottle, steam boots, maybe something else. And Pebbles has his as well, 2160, 2170 gold now. So I would expect him to buy it. There it is. And perhaps looking for jumping around to Balthazar, as he is currently out of lane, but all the way over here, they don't know that, so they're probably looking to sort of bait Chronos. It's not really the greatest word for it, but Pebbles here, I think, definitely looking for a pick on somebody, ideally this Balthazar, this Puppet Master. Obviously, shutting down the carry, very important, and not revealing that you've got a portal key gives you that surprise factor, allows you to kill relatively quicker. And maybe they will choose to go on Boxel. No, in fact, he's just going to show himself, so they probably saw that. Boxel had somebody else, I believe, also picked up a PK. Might have been Bubbles. Seems unlikely considering his pretty terrible form here, 170 GPM. 60-minute rune will be spawning bottom, Illusions. And the Legion side have brought a little bit more power to the fight for that, and we'll be able to grab it on Rally. Top lane, meanwhile, Chrono's going to run away as Balthazar comes in. Just TP's out. So he'll be fine. Puts himself returning to the bottom lane here, and just trying to pick up some farm, I guess. Seems like he should be rotating more often. Meanwhile, middle lane there is going to get some action. Mirax is going to take a whole bunch of damage, but he will not fall, as he's just a little bit too tanky, and this stun rotation not quite enough to lock him down for long enough. But it seems like Fuzzy Salt at this point should be trying to make use of his portal key as opposed to grabbing more farm. I mean, he's level 11, so his combo is particularly powerful because the ultimate makes it better, right? Yeah, increases bonus damage dealt to Chuck unit from 20% of AoE damage to 50%, so... You know, the better it gets, or the higher and large gets, the better his combo gets. It seems like he should be looking to pick heroes off and perhaps get some farm down there to either What You Got or Drents. As something that we don't see very often, I think SG did it a fair bit, was get some support, farm on your supports. Z-Freak used to get a fair bit of farm. Seal Kid gets a fair bit of farm too on BMG, and I think that's a pretty big difference maker. Having that support be at 150 GPM versus 200 makes a world of difference, because it's not just with the ward help. I mean, that can be the difference between having a good amount of vision and all of the vision, but it can also be really, really critical to having an impactful support, having a push book instead of not having one, or an extra Storm Spirit, or an Energizer, or a Lex Talionis, or something like that, that can really make a difference in a fight, saving a carry, guaranteeing a kill, doing something. That support can be a valuable hero. It's a 5-on-5 game. It's not 4-on-4 plus a support on each team. Meantime, speaking of that, Fusen over here looks like he might be in trouble. No, Fuzzy Sloth is trying to find some angle to get something, but can't get anybody. Balthazar has an assassin strat. Actually, Kelfield is on to Fuzzy Sloth right now, but he will just wear off. Meanwhile, over here, Balthazar will get caught. Seismic Slam is there. Swap out, actually, but right into Fuzzy Sloth, and he will get the kill. Ends up being 1 for nothing so far, but a nice cornfield on top of Prophet Ultimate there. Andraba is going to focus fire right here. Mirax is perhaps the next target. He's looking to run away. Cronus is there, plus the toss, and stuns. Drops the Matrix. That's going to help stay alive for longer, but not long enough, as he does eventually fall. So 3 for nothing there, and their Legion are owning. Over here, it looks like Root of Z might actually also die. No. Looks like he thought he had the angle to grab the Stalagmite, but they didn't see him. Now they must not have seen him because Drent stunned the woods, thinking that Engineer was still in there. But that will be a mid-tower kill as well. That's the first tower kill of the game for the Legion side. Obviously, the Hellborn had taken the top earlier. But pretty critical fight there for the Legion. 8-2, and all of a sudden they're up 6k gold and 6.5k experience. Not bad at all. We'll take double-stacked Ancients. Actually, we're going to triple them first. And that's going to be yet another good source of farm, as they've been farming the Ancients very effectively. Hellborn, I don't think, have done quite as much with theirs. They're currently double-stacked. Assassin's right on Balthazar. He's looking for a kill on Kronos. Should be able to find it. There's the Voodoo Puppet, plus the... Yep, you're just dead. So, nice jump there from Balthazar, showing that, yeah, you know what? You guys aren't the only ones with some burst damage here. I can do a whole bunch very quickly as well if I want to. And must have the Whispering Helm too, because he has taken over the Minotaur. Looking to triple these Ancients and then get the kill. Boost himself up. 413 GPM, and Balthazar all of a sudden is the highest farmer in the game, so they're going to have to be a little worried about him. His damage output can be pretty substantial, especially if they don't address him. Kronos, Pebbles, and Rally obviously have the potential to jump way far in the back of the fight, so just sitting in the back isn't necessarily going to guarantee Balthazar the ability to survive and just, you know, right-click everything to death in these fights, but if they don't deal with him, if they don't make him a target that they focus, like they did in the last fight where they killed him first, then that could be very bad very quickly. This Legion team. Ends up the Ancients here. Now I'm going to all of a sudden set it at 440 GPM or so. 435 maybe. Dude's still farming his mind off. Out of his mind. I want to say ass. Farming his ass off. 420 GPM. Picked up something there and I didn't even realize what it was. Oh well. Fuzzy actually on the bottom, also going to get dropped as the ports come in. There's the lockdown from Puppet Master. Says, guess how many CC tools I've got? It's a lot. And Box will actually get the kill with the Song of the Sea. So that's going to turn into a bot tower push, it looks like. Hellboy looking for the second tower kill of the game. And at 22 minutes, once again, Last of Us just not pushing. We've got a mid tier 1. Look at the bottom tier 1, pretty low. Top tier 1, not low at all. They're going to defend this bottom tower, which is a good idea. The issue is Fuzzy is dead, so can they? And in general, I'm going to say nope, there's a chronofield in the back onto 2, but Boxel and Balthazar get caught. Swap out there, that's the correct thing. That's what they're looking for. Matrax actually stun hits 3. The ultimate is there, and it looks like they're going to be able to get the kill onto what you got, as well as Durant. So they do manage to pick off Cruz in the background, though. So it's 2 supports for 1 at this point. Balthazar in a lot of trouble. He's going to finally follow Kronos auto attacks, but Kronos is in some danger himself. There's the kill onto Boxel, and suddenly this is going to turn around onto Meraxis. A lot worse than he thought, and that's going to be the wipe. So actually, Root of Z wasn't even there. So he will live. But excellent defense, excellent fight back there from the Legion side, and they are not going to try to turn that into a tower push, which I feel like they should be doing. But I guess, yeah, Pebbles definitely has enough damage to just finish this off by himself. It's already pretty low. When the Chuck comes out, and there it is.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
So obviously that Chuck extra bonus damage versus towers doing its work. Counter ward going down there as Drentz just manages to kill. Actually, what you got the last hit there. Just before it expired, but obviously still any denial of vision is a good thing. Now 8.5k gold, 8k experience for the Legion side, and they're doing quite well. Andro won't be able to get a DD rune as Diglett bottles it up, and now looking for the jump, and Fusen just... Whoo-hoo, that was bad. Meanwhile, here off to the side, Kronos in a lot of trouble, gets the strings, that's the kill. So, Legion side pick off the opposing team supports, but the Hellborn get the suicide. Obviously, technically not really an exchange, but a good series of events in total for Shriek. Fuzzy Sloth trying to farm some triple stacks. And there's, looks like Astrolabe is going to be the item of choice for what you got. As he picks up the headdress thing. Right? What's it called? Refreshing ornament. Top lane could be in some trouble here. Fuzzysoft gonna drop the Voodoo Puppet, and yeah. So about to start picking up yet another kill. As they waited down there for a pretty long time. Killed Kronos and then spent just maybe a minute hiding in the woods, waiting for somebody else to come farm that, and eventually also getting a pick on Pebbles. Worth it? I guess. Not sure. Ancients here will be tripled once again, and the Legion have really effectively been farming their woods, or at least their Ancients. Double damage rune picked, finally used, excuse me, on Rally, as apparently he has all of the mana and health in the world. Hits level 16 there, and this is going to be a lot of farm, 460 GPM for him. being farmed here as well by the Hellborn side. These are tripled also, so Balthazar going to once again pick up his GPM. Actually has fallen behind Diglett at this point, 431 gold per minute compared to 460. And Diglett might know something here. Yeah, he's going to jump in there, but just not enough timing. Going to kill the opposing team's Minotaur, so that's going to be a little annoying when it comes to stacking. But I assume the Whispering Helm cooldown is off, so probably will just be able to go grab another creep and send it on over there. Here, hasted rally once again, but he's going to get purged, and now he's going to Voodoo Puppet on him once again. Oh boy. Too much damage. Mid tower still up, so this could be the cue to push. We've got all 5 heroes here for the Hellborn side. They have used a couple of ultimates, but still have the Matrax and the Kelp Field, as well as the Void Rip. It's called? Yes, please tell me. Haha. Pebbles there, looking for a jump. We'll get the combo on Matraxus, but that's not really the one you want to get. Matrax gets popped, and he's going to try to survive. Won't be able to do so. In the meantime, now the tower does die, so decent enough trade, not the greatest. Does boost Puppet's farm over that Ever Alley, which is nice for them, and they're starting to cut into this golden experience lead a little bit, getting the game a little bit more even. And of course, as the game goes on, a 5k gold lead means less and less. At 30 minutes of the game, it's not really a substantial deficit. One decent enough team fight, and it will be even in terms of overall resources. Legion side, though, feeling like they need to counter the opposing team's push of the mid tower with one of their own. Looking to take down a tier 2 here, and they can probably do it, especially if Hellborn don't want to jump into this. They still have pretty substantial cooldowns on their ultimates, and this might not be a good initiation, though. Fuzzy Soft can get spotted out by the Word of Rev, and Kelfield is available, so I would not be surprised if they do something about this. Nope.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Instead, they will just let Fuzzy Sloth off the hook, and they will get the tier 2 here. Looks like Legion are going to keep pushing to some extent. Yeah, I hope not. Not a good idea. Maybe Kongwar will instead be the focus. Word of Sight obviously here will spot them going there. And Balthazar up top actually gets a tier 2 tower, so not the worst exchange. Instead, they're going to head bottom, take a tier 2 here, and Last of Us doing a much better job of pushing now all of a sudden. So 30 minutes into the game, they're going to have all tier 2s except for the one in the top lane.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
I would like to see Ancient Steel and a Kongwar kill here. Got a Word of Sight here. They got various wards all over the place, and they definitely have the damage to do it, so there goes the Ancient Steel. Neophyte's book on to Prophet. I'm going to assume it's a push book. And they want to pick, I think, before they want to go for Caldavar, which I can certainly understand. Looking to try to make it a little bit more safe. Hellborn don't really want to fight 4v5, I don't think. Their team fight is good, it is better, but it's not perhaps that good. And I think part of the issue, though, is Kronos needs a little bit more farm. He's at 300 GPM right now, which is fine, but they need him to be able to transition like a true hard carry. Otherwise, Puppet Master's the only real right-click carry in this game, and they can't have that. They can't have the game go 45 minutes and Kronos is not able to go toe-to-toe with Puppet Master when it comes to right-click autos. Because that's just going to, I mean, they're just going to lose. That's what's going to happen. Their burst damage is going to get less and less effective, and eventually it's not going to do enough, and the right-clicks will stay. They'll scale as well as they always do, and then all of a sudden Legion side is going to be dead, and then their towers fall and their axe will fall, will lose the game. So I'd like to see Kronos' farm prioritized a little bit more. They're not really using him as a carry. I don't really see why. Out of the laning phase, he should be considered the #1. He should be. Ancients are getting stacked, you get the farm. Jungle's getting stacked, you get the farm. We've got an open safe lane, you get the farm. But 300 GPM does not suggest that. Top tower will go down.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
I didn't even realize that tier 1 was still up. So I was wrong, in fact, they only had 4 tower kills, not 5. But it looks like the push is going to continue here now. Notable, Fuzzy Sloth is in the base. And he has no good way of getting to this push, so if they're going to continue this, they need to be really careful about it. Drents, I presume, they go drop a ward up here on the ledge, and that will give them a lot of vision. Actually, it's a Word of Rev. But Tree not doing anything to respond to this.
The
Instead, they'll push bottom.
a Legion tower.
But they're going to lose the top tier, too.
The The Legion had destroyed a Hellborn tower.
That's much better decision making by The Last of Us, I think. Right there in the middle lane, actually finds himself getting jumped and gets killed. Now Balthazar going to return though, ends up being a 1-for-1. That's a good trade for the Legion, I think, as Balthazar is most of this team. You look at the GPM charts right now, it's pretty clear who's getting the farm and who's doing the work. It's Balthazar, because he's got 500 GPM, and Meraxis is next at 260, almost half the farm. Or a little more than half the farm, I mean, but almost works both ways, I guess. Now Congar will be the focus with that pick, and they can see Bubbles here. Takeover's there. Nice Song of the Sea. We'll be able to shell surf on out of there, but Portal Key's still available on Rally. Is he going to chase? Good distraction, actually, from Bubbles, as that stopped the Kong, and they definitely had it. Did Balthazar back that? Yeah, he did. So they saw him coming in with a, I think with the Word of Sight, maybe. Was that just placed? Yeah, it was just placed. They probably figured Kong was going down. Now, of course, they know Kong is going down because the Ward of Rev here from the Legion side is there. And Hellborn have to be really careful about this because it's not going to be good. They've got a Word of Sight here, so they know that they're coming in. They're going to have to back it up, but the Word of Rev there will catch Puppet. He just walked in the chrono field. That chrono field missed, but they mean the background. Actually, they will blow up what you got right off the bat. Excellent energy field from Root of Z. Looks like Rally can be in trouble. Meanwhile, off the side, actually, Kronos does fall. So does Diglett. And here comes Fuzzy Sloth. Finally, we'll get a couple of kills on Boxel and Cracky. So Meraxis and Bubbles are both down, but Shrunken Head and Puppet Master is going to go through. And that's going to be the end of that. Conga will be finished off now. So that was a really, really good initiation from, or counter initiation from Meraxis and from Engineer. It basically meant that Kronos was all by himself up there with the chrono field, and everybody else was caught back here in the energy field, which meant that Puppet Master was not going to die. They killed Kronos with the counter, and then Puppet came in and said, guess what? You guys are not feeling really good. Well, I'm feeling great.
Kongor has been slain.
And down goes Kongor. Balthazar all of a sudden has a token and 500 GPM. And this is sort of what I was talking about before. I mean, Kronos can't even kill Andro at this point. Like, Fusen's playing this absolutely correctly. He's not just immediately swapping PM out because that would likely result in his death. He's letting PM take a little bit of punishment before he swaps him out so that he guarantees that Balthazar won't die, but he also doesn't necessarily sacrifice himself as well. And if Kronos could get a couple of more kills that way, then that would be a pretty significant gold boost, and that could eventually give him the damage to go late game and actually become that hard carry. At this point, with 300 GPM, he's just not that powerful. And it feels like the Legion aren't doing enough to prioritize his farm, like I keep saying, and I don't know why. I mean, Fuzzy Self is taking these double-stacked camps. Kronos should be getting them. He's stacking his own camp, and that's fine. But he should be getting everything. This double-stacked Ancients should be tripled right there. That should have been tripled at the last minute mark. And it should be given to Kronos. He should be getting that farm. But he's just not going to transition all that well to the late game. I mean, he's still going to be a valuable hero, obviously. The chrono field basically means that he's never not useful. At least, assuming you hit the chrono field and you don't get lucky that Balthazar actually walks into it. Experience lead is now even. I mean, Legion had a substantial lead when they should have. When Pebbles and Rally were at their most powerful, they had a good lead, and they should have been able to transition that into a hard carry Kronos that was able to compete with this Puppet Master late game, and it's just not going to happen. Puppet Master has 200 more gold per minute than Kronos, and at 36 minutes in, an extra 200 GPM is a lot of money. Also look at Rally too. I just don't like this hero, but you see what happened last fight. He's got 440 GPM. He's easily the highest farm on his team, and he just got destroyed by, not even Puppet. It was Meraxis, Energy Field, Bubbles, and he died. Like, it was a 3-on-4 there in favor of the Legion side, and he wasn't really able to do anything. So you look at this hero and you're like, all right, we've given him 440 gold per minute. That's a pretty good amount of money. And in a 4v3 engagement, he can't kill anything. Instead, he just folds like paper and dies. I don't want to take any credit away from Tree, because they've definitely been playing this well. And they brought this game back from getting really close to sketchy. Dust goes out there, will not spot the Invismarax subs. They saw him before because of the word of rep, so didn't want to let him know that he had been seen, but they did in fact see him. Will wear off. Whiff goes down on the bottom tower. But they don't really want to give up this push here. All 5 heroes are up for the Hellborn side. Going to jump there with a Sheepstick on Rally, actually, but the push book away. By which I mean Rally owns the Sheepstick, not Rally used the Sheepstick. There's the Puppet Show, and a Kelfield onto just one. Nice energy field, catches a whole bunch, and Keg Stun. Immediate kills onto both Kronos and Rally, and this is just turning real bad here. All of a sudden, it looks like Prophet's going to die. Yes, there it is. And yeah, Torture and Pebbles will be able to get away, but that's going to be it. All of a sudden, now Base Tower going down, and Buyback is not available for Biglet. It's not available for Kronos, and it's not available from Prophet. So this is going to be easy kill. I think Puppet still has the token as well, so this is going to be Rax. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them take a tier 2 tower middle as well.
A Legion barracks has been destroyed. A Legion barracks has been destroyed.
Yeah, they can rotate this to the tier 2 middle. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So very good decision making there from Willowkeeper as they managed to destroy that fight. Excellent initiation potential. Obviously, the Portal Key on Engineer doing a ton of work.
Destroyed a Legion tower.
And they managed to take not only 3 towers, but a Rax as well. Once again, Diglett getting blown up. He's got, what, 2,000 health? It says 1518. I know that it's bugged right now, so it's probably closer to 2,000. But he just gets blown up. Voodoo Puppet just does so much damage. And Kronos can't do anything in these fights. He's getting silenced like crazy, which is a pretty big issue. But he shouldn't be in the middle, obviously. He should be in the back, waiting for the Chrono Field, and that should be a guaranteed kill on at least one hero. Instead, it's not. Actually, Andro getting caught out here. Fusen will drop. So Fuzzy Sloth managing to find the opposing team hard support, and we'll get a nice constellation kill, I guess, but obviously last few minutes still haven't been particularly great for the Legion team. And it looks like they're going to try to counter this, pushing up the gut. Balthazar's token, I believe at this point, has worn off. I don't actually know, obviously, because of the item bug. And up top, Bubbles Illusion's doing some stuff. The Last of Us will back off here. As the entire Hellborn team's like, yeah, you're not pushing into this. TP coming there to stop the push. Fuzzy Sloth does not want to let this tower take damage if he doesn't have to. And obviously, the CS, very welcome as well. Man, Rally has apparently all of the mana in the entire known universe. It's pretty hilarious. Pause, but nobody cares because, boom, skipped. Symbol of Rage on Puppet. So he's got a Shrunken Symbol, Assassin's Shroud, which very possibly could be a Genjuro by now. 550 gold per minute. And Last of Us are in, all of a sudden, a deficit. They've been leading for most of this game. Not only the resources down, obviously the bottom lane as well. And you sort of think, where's the comeback? And you look at this Kronos and you think, Kronos should work. Kronos carries, that's what he does. And yet, no he doesn't, because he's got 280 gold per minute. It'd be one thing if, you know, That's just why I've said that for now the last 15 minutes. Why isn't Kronos getting for him? I don't get it. He's your carry. That's what he does at this point. Like, out of the laning phase, he was your suicide. But he's not your initiator. You've got 2 strong initiators. He's not, I mean, I guess he is a lot of your team fight, but he's not all of it. He's a source of right-click damage. And he's not being used that way. I kind of wonder why. Lots of us will group up here, and Skeleton King actually is kind of hanging out. Trying to maneuver around. They're going to find it, though. Should kill it pretty easily, but they're going to, in the course of doing so, reveal that their entire team is here. Kongor, I'm guessing, will be back up relatively soon. Off to the side, actually jump onto Voxel there. He will also get Sheep, but Mirax with the counterquake. We'll see. Chronofield actually goes down as well, but really nothing after that. No real damage. Keltfield gets hit on a couple. Energy Field on the 3, disrupting this entire fight. Prophet Ultimate in the background, but the Chokin Head is up from Pebbles. Anyway, everything's falling here. 3 kills so far for the Hellborn side, as everybody except for Rally and Pebbles are dead. And now the chase is real. Haste Rune is on Miraxis. We'll see if he can actually get out. Yep. Rally going to fall here as well. And Fuzzy Sloth is just going to port away. Is this going to be Midrax? Wouldn't be surprised. Hellborn team is grouped up here. And Voxel's coming back. As that was a 4-for-0 exchange. So Belshazzar's going to be like, look at how hard I hit. Jump there by Fuzzy Sloth, going to try to do some distraction damage, but not nearly enough to back them off this tower. Glyph goes down as well. And CiC mode.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
So that's it.
Hellborn wins.
You know, a game actually that The Last of Us, I think, played a lot better this game than they did the last game. They pushed when they needed to. It felt like they didn't do enough to prepare themselves for the late game. If they had been able to win this in 30, which they maybe could have if they had done a few things a little bit differently, then that would have been fine. But they had a lineup that had some late game potential and didn't exploit it at all. So that's going to be it. Nice comeback there from Tree, really. They hung into this game, and they did everything they could, really. It felt like they played very smart, they played very well, and as a result, they will take this series 2-0.